Hey, Roger Martin here from Billings, Montana. Good day. This is from Praying Medic, and here you can see the Q posts. And I visited those sites several times, and Q has been silent for 93 days, and that is over. It's been pretty active on the posts. One of the most important things that what came from Q was uh, Q support around the world. We saw shots from Finland, uh, Korea, probably South Korea, and other places around the world where Q has inspired people to stand up for their rights and their support. Hong Kong, other places, Spain, uh, Italy, Europe, probably even in South America and Africa, and even in the Middle East, in Saudi Arabia. So this push is spreading worldwide. People are standing up and fighting for their rights, period.
Because I am not always correct and I sometimes miss things. You can find Q posts on a number of different files that we'll look at here in just a second. Q said read carefully. Note, Podesta emails were non-public. They were internal. Fact, Ukraine is the single largest Clinton Foundation donor. Is that a coincidence? I don't think it's a coincidence.
Okay, Ukraine was the largest single Clinton Foundation donor. That's no coincidence. This gal and this guy, President and Secretary of State Clinton, need to be put in their place legally, criminally.
So if we look at the email chain here, this email chain was started by Jennifer Palmieri. She thought might be a good idea for Hillary to make a public statement setting the record straight, insisting that she did not engage in quid pro quo as Secretary of State. And then she wrote she could frame it this way, and she's got some talking points here, that they're very proud, or she is very proud of the Clinton Foundation work, that if people donate to the Clinton Foundation because they want to support good work. If anyone did give money in hopes of influencing something that State Department did, they were foolish because she never did and never would. Secretary of State makes life and death decisions, and those kind of political considerations don't come into play. And then the fourth point was this: at least that way she could have taken off the table any notion that there was quid pro quo, even if some donors may have had bad intentions. So they were just going through these different talking points in this email. Robbie Mook and John Podesta responded with their thoughts here on this. They were wondering if it would be possible to have Hillary do a public speech where she would only receive one question and nothing more. They were wondering whether it would be a convincing message, and also
Hillary, who needs to help Hillary? I just find that sickening.
a couple of things to note. John Solomon did bring out some information. Contrary to the claims of the mainstream media, that the investigation of Burisma Holdings, a company that Hunter Biden worked for, was not under investigation at the time that Joe Biden made his phone calls to the president of Ukraine to fire Viktor Shokin. John Solomon has found out that the investigation into Burisma was heating up. That's why Biden was pushing for the prosecutor to be fired. Again, if you just go back and kind of follow what Hannity has been covering on his nighttime broadcasts, you'll get caught up on all this information. One thing I did want to play is a short video where Lindsey Graham talks specifically about what his interest in the phone calls and the visit that former Vice President Joe Biden had with the former president of Ukraine. Listen to this real quick.
Senator, you have talked about the calls with Biden and Poroshenko, the former president.
Right.
Well, now that we're releasing transcripts, any chance we could ever get those?
So here's what I'm asking for. On February the 2nd, the prosecutor raids the president's house of the gas company, right? On February the 4th, he makes a public announcement. Hunter Biden calls the State Department. On the 11th, the 18th, and the 19th of February, Joe Biden calls the president of the Ukraine. About a month later, they fire the prosecutor. This is the same guy that was urged to take action against the gas company president by the American ambassador in 2015. This doesn't add up. What was that phone call about? Why would you want to fire the guy after he prosecuted the person you said was the dirtiest person in all of Ukraine?
Okay. You mentioned to me that you have a letter going out.
Yes, to
well, I don't
Pompeo.
know. What is the letter about?
I want to know, are there any transcripts or readout of the phone calls between the vice president and the president of the Ukraine in February after the raid on the...
So these written calls, they're going to get into this tit for tat, and Graham is going to see if there's any written transcripts on these calls. Old Joe's going to get his upcomings if there is. I'm sure there are. Whether or not they're going to be released and brought public is another question. I think the Senate has a lot of work to do, and I think Congress does too, but nothing's going to happen in Congress until Congress either goes back to Republicans. I hope we don't have 4 more years of impeachment Trump hearings. This needs to be stopped one way or another. I hope the White Hats have their stuff together. Anyhow, we're going to pass some of these posts. These divisions in the country are not by accident. The CIA's been increasing the divisions in this country ever since the Vietnam War in the mid-60s and later, and had full control of the media by 1984 by some reports. And the divisions legally by the Supreme Court has not helped either.
Against this administration, it is the left that is engaged in the systematic shredding of norms and undermining the rule of law.
All right.
There never could be a clearer statement than that. We are under the greatest legal civil war the United States has ever seen. And I'll state that again, the greatest legal civil war this country has ever seen, period.
Thank you, AG Barr.
Let's go on. All the media doing the very same scripts, very same editing, very same news announcement. Is that independent news? No way. That's propaganda. And that was shown by Q. We know that many FBI officials under investigation for their crimes against POTUS. This is going to be bigger than Spygate.
Investigation by U.S. Attorney Durham and Barr and Horowitz are about to destroy their narrative that Spygate is a debunked conspiracy theory. This is a report from CNN that a former FBI lawyer is under criminal investigation after allegedly altering a document that was used for a FISA application. They were kind of assuming it was again an application to Carter Page, although we don't know that. It could actually be one of the FISA applications. Paul Manafort was also under FISA surveillance, so was General Flynn. So,
Anyhow, these guys need to be brought into criminal charges. Unfortunately, they're going to work on the lower echelons and work up to the higher. How long it's going to take, who knows. But this is Chicago thing. Media is complicit. Pound treason. Q. That's a great sign. It's the second time I've seen this. Q is gaining control. There's no two ways about it. When Q says the news unlocks, you have more than you know. It's been through the social media networks that this is actually happening. It's not been through mainstream media. Fine print on this. We're going to go past this. Images that are served via Tor broke yesterday. So something tried to get into the Tor system. And I use the Tor system in case you need to look at things. So it's being hacked too.
Over to 8kun from 8chan. So Code Monkey says, number 1, migrate Patriots Fight before the rotation. 2, post with the current trip code on Patriots Fight. 3, after the salt rotation, post with the new trip code on Patriots.
Now, I don't know about all this stuff, but you can see that there's been tactical efforts to take 8chan down and 4chan down and stop them technically. That's been an ongoing war in this saga to get the truth out. And Q has said that they're going to come up with their own channel. And this is through military intelligence. You need to go back and look at my post from X-22 reports and see all the military intelligence. And you can see the two groups, the CIA and the other one that I've never heard of before, were not in the room with those military intelligence groups. Matter of fact, the CIA, through great-grandfather Bush and the German spies, tried to destroy this nation ever since the Second World War. There's so much going on, it's unreal. Gonna end it here. I like X-22 reports better, but sometimes this guy will get a spin on it that we don't consider. Anyhow, this is Roger Moore from Billings, Montana, the Spraying Medics site. There's so much more on these few posts. You really have to dig and study. But Q has been right on, and he's not a hoax. He's not a conspiracy theory. It's he's come out and told us exactly that this is through high military intelligence. Go back and look at my post. And this high military intelligence has been opposing the CIA and the other group. And I'm going to have to study and see what that other group is involved with. But the CIA needs to be dismantled and destroyed, in my opinion, and the other groups that have supported its destruction of the United States. Good day.